Assault in Eternal War was almost impossible to avoid before the Melta pistol. Now it's even more difficult. The class needs some changes in PvP. It's completely outclassed all the others, and it's getting better for some reason. Objective mode games are less about holding off the opposing ground infantry, and more about watching the skies because one assault will clear your team. I only play Assault when I see another level 30 plus playing Assault, since there's not really a counter to Assault besides Assault, and it's still iffy. Assault is ruining PvP, it makes me not want to play, and I'm tired of having to play the class just to even the odds. Now, this is interesting. Last time I played PvP, I definitely seen, Assault just running wild. It seems like this class is able to just completely break down teams, and honestly, I don't think there's enough team synergy in PvP as far as, playing with each other. Sometimes people go out on their own and get caught by assault classes. It can just be seriously it can be a very sticky situation navigating, to avoid getting slammed on for the most part. But it can be also a little sticky to kind of navigate how you're going to play within your team in PvP. Now, the objective game modes are definitely the game modes you want to play in PvP. Those are the ones that kind of have more structure. So I can see where, the assault class is just slamming down on objectives, at least getting one or two players. It's kind of interesting that they added the, the Inferno pistol in this. I have not heard about the Inferno pistol being good in PvP, but I haven't really been playing PvP since I've been, leveling up my classes for prestige and everything. However, I can kind of see, a mini Melta being very strong, especially considering this class is going to be directly in your face. And honestly, sometimes having a Melta of your own is a good way to take advantage of the assault class, slamming down and potentially missing you or going after your teammates. If you could just go up there and blast them, that is a good way to get, that's a good way to get them down. One of my favorite ways to do it is the heavy bolt rifle with tactical. If you can get a scan on them, it's very easy to take them out in the air. But otherwise, it's a little bit close. You'll notice that if you just try to, bullet storm down the assault class in midair, on their way to you, it's going to be really close. They're going to be like within one damage of death, and then yeah, so are you because you can get slammed on. But this is interesting. Assault is ruining PvP. Is that the case? Honestly, I really wished that we had more PvP patches, because even if the Assault class is ruining PvP, we're kind of in a position where it's like, do they even patch it? I really hope they do. I do think the way the Assault is played is very spammy, and it just frankly feels, it can kind of feel a little bit cheesy. It really depends. But ultimately, if you have a team that's like, strategizing and actually playing together, you might be able to take them down in midair. And not to mention a lot of people who are playing this class are very sloppy with it, but you'll notice the good ones can absolutely take over games. And yes, I definitely think this class could use some sort of nerf as far as the cooldown. Everything else should be fine, but that's kind of interesting they mentioned the Inferno pistol. I have not heard about that being good. But still, yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys feel. Have you been playing PvP? I know it's kind of, this might be a weird place because, we're still all leveling our prestige and everything like that. So maybe PvP hasn't seen, too many players. However, PvP also hasn't seen too many updates. I really hope PvP at least gets one good balance update that really just fixes annoying things like shock grenades and the assault class just slamming down over and over. But still, maybe they don't update it. And yeah, we're just gonna have to live with the consecutive slams. The fact that parry doesn't stagger in PvP is such an insane decision that completely ruins melee combat. Bulwark gets close to you, better hope a teammate walks up to help because you can't interrupt their combo, and you'll still get hit and staggered if you'll roll away. Yeah, he's right about this. There's definitely some pretty good roll catching in this game. Assault just did 80% of your health and staggered you. Well, don't worry, the immediate follow with Thunderhammer AoE will finish you before you can move again. I'm terrible at PvP and genuinely haven't lost a single 1v1 as Assault. You can just spam jumps until you stagger and one shot. Yeah, see, I think the slam, as far as a single slam, the balance is actually pretty good. But still, yeah, the fact that you can just spam it is where the problems lie, because honestly, that initial boost when you just jump up in the air is very hard for most players to hit. That is kind of just it's like a very, very fast movement that you can just, trigger over and over again, and it's really jarring to try to keep up with it. There's definitely good snipers and good tacticals that can take out, certain assault players in midair, but the ones that still just jump up and down, you still have to like definitely time a good shot, or like maybe even a melta grenade or something. It really depends on the situation, but for the most part, yeah, if they're spamming their jump pack, they are going to be tough to keep up with. I feel like you only get two kinds of assault players: the really good ones that slaughter and make people quit, or the ones whose corpse you always see falling. I switch between both because I'm trash at PvP. Yeah, don't get me wrong, PvP can still be very fun, and honestly, you really shouldn't take PvP too serious. It's kind of like a side mode of the game that I think is very enjoyable. I definitely, committed a lot of time to PvP. I am enjoying my time with PvE as well, but I think, a healthy mix is a great point of the game for sure. However, yeah, moments like this can definitely be pretty funny when you just see, bad assault players just falling from the sky. That's always funny to see. But yeah, the good ones definitely can make people quit 100%. And as soon as somebody quits on your team, you're in a really tough spot as far as trying to win the game. But ultimately, I just think PvP is a great way to experience the game in a really small dose, whereas operations can be like 30 minutes long. With PvP, sometimes I just hop on and I'll just play a game when I'm just, interested in gaming for a little bit, but I don't have that much time. Something like that can just feel really good to play. However, yeah, if you're getting stomped, definitely doesn't feel good to play. So I really don't blame people from just leaving games if they're getting stomped. I still wish they would add some sort of leaderboard, like something that keeps track of your score as you've been playing PvP since launch. That would be very cool, something like that. But yeah, like let's say you finish the PvP match with like 2,000 experience. Well, that's 2,000 points on the leaderboard, and then you can just keep climbing up. So they give some sort of incentive to just stay in the game and not quit all the time. Even if you lose, you can still stack that experience to your leaderboard score. Something like that would be very fun. But yeah, unfortunately, I really hope they add in a, some sort of PvP update, but, it's definitely seeming less likely. I agree, it's too easy to master by at least decent players, and then it's just melta slam, jump slam, escape, repeat. Combine it with at least average knowledge of map and how coherent how coherent is average team, and you get easy 30 to 1 KD ratio. Okay, I'm thinking what he's saying about how coherent the average team is. Like, combine it with the fact that most teams aren't very coherent, I think is what they're trying to get at. But yeah, 31 KD is kind of insane. Don't start with insane stagger radius of Thunderhammer. I don't really know how to properly balance it. Maybe remove stagger from hammer? No, just simply give them cooldown. Like a longer cooldown for the jump packs. That's really all it is. Like really all you need, and maybe just one or two for PvP. But still, yeah, that triple slam spam is kind of insane. It would allow at least try to counterplay, as it is hard to be staggered against most mobile class. And for now, only counterplay is team play, and it's not most reliable resource to get there. Holy cow! this comment really goes all over the place. All right, well. The reliable counterplay being team play is right, for sure. But still, a good sniper can definitely take the assault out pretty fast. And not to mention camo, you really would have to, in this scenario, you would really have to place yourself in a spot where the assault doesn't see you. So you would really want camo to try to flank a situation, or, just to put yourself in a good position far from the objective, but far enough to where you can still pick off the assault when they jump in the air, and then they won't key in on you because you're technically not even on the objective. But that's the dangerous part of the game, right? Because if you're not on the objective, and let's say the assault class already took out the teammates that were on the objective, even if you take out that assault in the air, there's going to be another enemy on the objective that might not be as easy to shoot because they're not jumping in the air. It really depends. It really depends on the pace of the match and everything. I still think a good sniper, depending on map knowledge, can definitely place himself in a favorable position to take out the assault whenever they jump in the air. But okay, let's continue this comment. It is bigger BS than Plasma Incinerator of Tactical. Of Tactical. Only thing that is okay that there is a handful of good assault mains. And I love how everyone mentions that. And when they get picked from the sky, often just leave and looking for some easier prey. Okay, so that is interesting how people keep mentioning the skill level of most assaults. Yeah, definitely let me know in the comments how you guys react to, you know, the assault class in PvP. Are you seeing really, really good players play this class? Are they playing a little bit too goofy, and do they put themselves in bad positions? What weapons do you use to take them out? Most of the times, I just try to use something that hit scan. Anything that hit scans in PvP is pretty reliable, to be completely honest. Maybe the bolt pistol might not be the best, but for the most part, I'm pretty sure like any sort of bolt rifle should be able to pick off the assault from the sky. It just honestly really depends on what class you're playing. I think bulwarks have a tough time dealing with this class. Bulwarks can definitely get the short end of the stick when it comes to the Thunderhammer slams. But yeah, let me know in the comments how you guys feel about PvP right now, or have you been playing it? Have you tried the Inferno pistol? Thanks for watching.